Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so happy to be back here with you tonight with Pink and Main. It sounds like my audio is working. Fingers crossed. So tonight, as you can tell from the title, we are going to be using a slimline cover die. This one specifically, this is the Sunburst Slimline Die. And our dear Michelle made a request asking to see if we could use this die on an A2 size card. And so obviously I had to. I didn't have the die, so it took a little bit. I had to order it, and then I got it, and then I forgot about it, but I got it back, and it's going to be good. So for anybody who popped over from Facebook, Michelle and I, Pink and Main, Michelle and I are working on figuring out what is happening. The service that we use to stream is not wanting to link to our Facebook right now. So anybody who has friends, crafty friends that you know watch us live, pass on the message in case they didn't see. But YouTube is where it's at for right now. There's Michelle, Miss Michelle Myers with your Sunburst Slimline on top of it, finally. um, I see tons of people checking in. Let's do a quick run through. I saw Veronica was here bright and early. Gloria, um, let's see, Lisa's here. Miss Judith's here. Sherry, Michelle, Melissa, Virginia, Maria's checking in from New York. Let's see. Sandra, Connie, Barbara. It's great to see everybody. Let's go ahead and get this swapped over. There we go. And I do want to take a second before we fully jump in to announce that first of all, the first 9 envelopes are going to go out tomorrow morning. So last week's and then the 3 winners from tonight's giveaway are all going to get mailed out tomorrow morning. For anybody who hasn't had a chance to enter in for our giveaway, I'll leave a link to the form after this live. You can also go check out the last 2 lives. The link is in there as well. But if you are interested, I'm sending out envelopes at least until the 11th. I did the math and I'm going to run out of sequin packets on the 11th of June. So we have tonight, Thursday, next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then one more Tuesday. And I'm going to see what I can do after that. We'll figure it out. But for now, the giveaway is going to be 2 cut-ups, 2 pieces of foil, 4 of the ombre toner sheets. I'm not promising that you're getting more than 2 color variants. You might get 2 and 2. A floral pattern toner sheet, sequins, and an A2 side folding card. So if you would like to enter in for that, make sure you check back right after this live or go back to last week's lives for the form link. It's a Google form, and that way your information is protected. If anybody comes on and comments to you on YouTube, like, oh, you're the winner, message me. That's not me. I will email you with the email you provided me in your form submission only. So with that being said, tonight's 3 giveaway winners are Jody B, Dania or Denia B, and Heather B. Lots of B's tonight. Sherry said she's willing to take it minus the sequins. If you guys don't mind not having sequins after the 11th, we can keep going for another couple weeks for sure. And I can probably find some extra bonus something to pop in there for you. So Miss Jody, Denia, and Heather, you guys are our winners for tonight. I will email you. You email me back and let me know that you're still interested and confirm your address. And then I will get all of those out to you guys tomorrow/Thursday if you don't email me tonight, which is also fine. So yes, congratulations to everybody. Let's dive into our card. So like I said, we're going to be using the Sunburst Slimline Die. I see Dawn checking in. Is that Brian or Brienne? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Brian. Checking in. Everybody's saying congratulations. You guys are so nice. But yeah, definitely need some comments too whenever, and let me know if other people agree with Sherry and you'd be fine with us going longer if I sub something else out for sequins, because then we could at least go through the end of June. All right, so we have our, yeah, Mary. So Mary just said, found you here, nothing on Facebook. I tried to pass it around as much as I could, but Facebook is having a glitch and I'm not able to sign in to do lives right now. So Michelle and I are working on figuring out how to fix that. But unfortunately, in the meantime, for right now, YouTube is the place to be, apparently. All right, so my thought with the slimline when I was looking at this was to either put it this way and leave just like a mat on the edges, right? Or this way and kind of continue the pattern, which is I think what I want to do. You could also offset it, but I kind of want it centered. And I even thought about popping up the center one as a shaker, but I think with the stamp that I want to use, we're going to cover most of that circle anyway. So I'm not stressed about that part, but just know that this would be adorable as a shaker if you just layered up a couple of these. So yeah, so we're going to do a die cut frame through the middle and then die cut it one more time, and we're going to cut them and split, and it's going to go on either side. So we're going to make like a repeating pattern. And I am going to go graduation themed. Okay, and I just went defaulted. I'm defaulting to my own high school colors. We were the Patriots. And so all of our stuff was red, white, and blue. So I grabbed the year-round plaids too, and we're going to use one of the red, white, and blue patterns. But because of that, if you don't need a graduation card, you could totally swap in one of the eagles instead of the owls that we're going to use and make this like a 4th of July card. So, but I also know that there's multiple people watching who are not from the United States. And so I thought graduation would be a little more universal. And if you want 4th of July, you can just swap out a bird and you'd be good to go. So let's stamp our owl first and get them set to the side to dry, because you guys know that's always important before we Copic color. I always just want to be sure. And I think I want this little, very studious little owl with he's standing on his little books, and he's just very centered and cute. And I think that's going to lend itself really well to the little circle part of our sunburst. So he's going to fit right there. Yeah, everybody's loving the eagles. Perfect. So yeah, if you need inspiration, I would literally make the same card, just swapping out for the eagle, if that's what you want to do. Let's see. You know we use up scraps here. I'm not wasting any Copic Express, that's for sure. So let's bring down a piece of that. I'm going to be stamping my owl on my Copic Express it. I will have you know that I did not go by scissors, but I did find 2 other non-crafty pairs of scissors. I just pulled that out on How to Habit. And put those in the junk drawer so my kids will stop stealing my scissors, and I will stop stealing my own scissors to put in my car for cutting flowers. Yeah, Dawn, Canada, exactly. If you're Canadian and you don't need a 4th of July card, you can use a graduation. Or if you have a kid in your life, mostly high school, I think at this point. I think college graduations are kind of almost wrapped up at this point for the, at least up here. But definitely high school graduations, I know, still go on through like halfway through June. Ooh, that was a good impression. All right. So we're going to set our little Smarty Pants owl to the side. We're just going to let that dry for a minute. Michelle said she made the May mug last week. That mug is so cute. I gotta add it back to the list. I see, to me, the May mug, it is adorable, but it gives me very much 4th of July vibes. So in my head, I'm not like in a rush to use it because I feel like I have all of June to use it. All right, so I'm torn between this plaid and like this is really the colors of my my high school. It was definitely not like a baby blue. I think I want this one. And this is what's cool because you can just swap this. If you are sticking with graduation theme, you could swap the colors out to whatever your person's school colors are. And then you'd be good to go. So we might need 2 pieces of this. Right here. 3.5. It's gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna need 2 pieces of this. That's okay. And this is going to be longer than we need, which is also okay. Let's run this through our die cutting machine first. We're going to run this through twice with our plaid, and we're also going to run it through with white to create a frame. So this plaid is going to be like our insert. Think of it like stained glass, where we're going to inlay all of these pieces. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. You want to try, it'll just make it easier for yourself anyway if you keep these in an order, close to order. Just for when we paper piece it all back together, especially for something like this plaid that has such a clear pattern. If it was more abstract or you were like mixing multiple patterns, it wouldn't matter as much. But for this one, direction is kind of important. Okay, so there's our first outline. Oh my gosh, Melissa had an eventful weekend. Michelle, you should check out on Facebook. There's a Facebook group called Pink and Main Gallery, and you can post your Pink and Main pictures there. It's really cute. It's so fun. Everybody there's so nice. So you can definitely, right now, Facebook is not being my friend for posting live, but it certainly is a great place for those community groups. I'm running this through with the scrap. And that's going to become our right hand side. And once this is like the labor intensive part, right? Once we actually get going, the rest is going to be Oh, there's a triangle. Did I just like crumple one up on accident? Hmm. Okay. We'll see. Hopefully I don't need that piece. Guess we'll find out soon. All right, I'm gonna do this one at a time. Yeah. And yes, I hope that everyone did have a restful holiday weekend. I know it's not like a happy weekend, but well, I found the triangle. Good news. Silly, I can't put it through my die cutting plate like that, can I? Try to keep that mostly straight. Lines match up pretty close. This will be the last round for our little puzzle. This is the one that goes up there. Oh no, Kathleen said she broke her ankle a year ago and she's still in pain. That's okay. The last thing we need to do is run this through and wait. I guess technically we're gonna need two of them, and then we can just cut it one in half. Put that into A2 size panels. Center this one up. One day when I have fancy crafter, I'm gonna be like Kathy Zilski, and I'm gonna have a camera on whatever desk I do all my die cutting on, because I'll be fancy and I'll have a desk just for die cut one day. All right, so for this one, we just want our frame, right? And that's going to go like that. That's why I didn't stress about where it was lined up when our A2 was like this direction, because once we switch it to landscape, it's not going to matter anyway. We're going to be able to shift it however we want to center it up. And you could also, if this was more for 4th of July and you wanted to, you could paper piece some of these white in between the plaid too. And that would also give you like a really fun look. Right, if you wanted to bump up, because this is so minimal on the white, you really wanted to make the white stand out in your red, white, and blue. And I know we're a US brand, but I do think it's important to try to be inclusive when we can. But with that being said, I think I'm going to have to make that 4th of July mug at some because it's too cute. Also, I'm working on a Halloween card for a post later this week. And I'm here. It's officially time for Summerween. So I'm ready for some Halloween posting. Okay, let's finally get to assembling this. See if we can make my vision come to life. So we could move this up or down. I'm going to try to get this centered. Oh, East Coast inspired. Tim Hortons coffee. I'm an equal opportunity coffee fan. Okay. So I'm going to start by adding little dots of glue to my frame, trying to work quickly-ish. I don't want to make a mess, but I do want to make sure that none of this glue dries before I have a chance to stick it down. And it won't be very helpful. And I also know that I'm going to have extra glue and it's going to get all over. And that's fine with me. I think that looks pretty good. Giving that a good squish. And if you wanted to make this a shaker, you could just stack a few of these up. And then before you do your top layer, add a circle or a whole sheet of acetate. And then fill your whole thing in and put that last layer with the acetate underneath like a little lid. You can make this a shaker so easily. Okay, next. Oh, I'm going to need some of those circles. Maybe the circles can be on the side will be white. Because, or maybe we'll just matte the whole thing. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to line this side up first, and then we'll trim and use the other half for the other side. It's going to help us save time and paper and money. This doesn't have to be exact, but I want this pretty lined up as much as possible. Okay, so now we're going to go around and trim from the back. You were not supposed to jump ship. Okay, so you can see we have kind of this mosaic tile look. We're going to just repeat that, flipping it over with the other half. Okay. Squish those down. Um, let's see. Just finished Kendra's card challenge set. I love her challenge. It's so inspiring. And if you're somebody who needs a bunch of cards, you can just knock them out so fast with her challenge. Kendra is definitely a friend of Pink and Mean. There we go. So you can see when you compare like the corner pieces to each other that we're not exactly lined up. But I do think that when this is over, we could use the big guillotine chomper and trim this down to get a mat. But even just this is pretty. Like the white tone with like a little sentiment in the middle. I think that's pretty just by itself. And that could easily be um, portrait or landscape. So bonus idea, Michelle. Michelle said, how do these ideas form in my mind? Um, I don't, I don't know. They literally just kind of pop into my head. Like when I first saw this and you said you wanted to see it on a A2, that this was my first idea, was like, wouldn't it be pretty to put it in pattern, like to make a repetition out of it. Um, so yeah, I don't have like a trick, and I don't, sometimes if I'm feeling super stumped, I will go find somebody else's stuff and use it as inspiration. And I just make sure to give them credit, right? Like we've used some of the design team, the Pink and Main design team members' stuff as inspiration from the blog. And as long as everybody gets their credit, I don't ever have any problem with that. Um, but yeah, otherwise, I'm sorry, I don't have like a secret. How did this go? There we go. Trick up my sleeve to tell you guys. I usually just try to start out with either a general like shape or start with colors. Those are my first two things. Or think about how I want to feel, how I want the card to feel, which sounds a little like woo woo hokey, I know, but that's me. I'm a little on that overly creative. Colors make me feel a certain way. Hey, everybody. See lots of people checking in. Brian's here. Cheryl's here. All right, we're going to trim these ones as we go. So I've just put in little squiggles of glue and pop in those little patchwork pieces. I'm not going to worry about these little corners because that feels stressful to me, and this card is not supposed to be stressful. Hey, Annette. Glad you could make it over. Okay, let's pop in our circle. I think I want to keep this white to make our owl really pop. So we're going to keep that center one. We're not going to worry about the two on the end. Again, that feels stressful. I don't know about you guys, but I did not get into card making to have more stress in my life. See if I can wing this. This is like the best part, the like puzzle piecing. As long as you don't throw your glue across the ring, it's really nice. Did get some great outside time with my babies this weekend. That was nice. I saw Gina K did a cool die cutting and paper piecing project like this the other day. And she used like backgrounds that she had made and mixed them up. I think that's cool. But for this, I wanted it to look, especially because with the plaid is so busy, I wanted it to be a little more uniform as much as it can be, right? But you can see as we're going over, like the white on white was really soft. This is really bold. I'm gonna have to spin this because my brain is not. That's one thing I can tell you I'm not good at is like mentally rotating and flipping things in my mind. Like my daughter can do a Rubik's Cube so good because she can imagine like where things are in space on the cube and where they'll be when she spins it. I do not have that ability. Not even a little bit. This guy. What I really want is a navy to mat this, but I don't think I have any dress shop or barbershop cardstock. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Little babies. They had so much fun this weekend. Well, Saturday. Sunday was cleaning day. They did not have fun on Sunday. Let me tell you. You'd think it was the end of the world, me asking them for help cleaning on Sunday. I didn't have blue. We could just mat it on white. That's okay too. So I'm going to take out the big chomper on this one. So we're at 5.5. Let's just do quarter. Inch off of each side. Right? No, an eighth of an inch. Sorry, an eighth of an inch off each side is what we're doing. That's what I don't usually use this guy. All right, and then we need one more. Oh, you know what? I have this whole thing. We'll just make our own card base. And this one can go right into a card base. Everyone can be shocked all at once. Caitlin actually put her card on a card base. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score it at 4.25. Oh my goodness, I missed something. Melissa, I missed what's going on. I'll go back and check, but I'm sorry that you're going through whatever kind of attacks those are. Oh, Gloria, yeah. I mean, I also just watched that like hanging with Hero thing with Hero that Hero Arts did with Gina, and like her story of how she got started and like all of the crazy stuff she's done in her life before card making is just like crazy. So I'm sure she does like need extra inspiration sometimes, but I'm also sure that like she's got to know every trick in the book at this point. All right, I love the matte of this being white after all that, because now to me it really is giving that like quilt feel with the frame pieces and then the mat the whole way around. It's just so cute. I should have cut a little more off of this side and a little less of this side, but that's okay. We're going to overlook it. And we're going to jump into coloring this cute little guy. Up my camera up on the angle a little bit. So not today. There we go. Oh, gallbladder attacks. Yes, girl. You know, I got mine out in December in an emergency surgery. They didn't even give me time. I went in that night at like 5 p.m. and I left at 10 a.m. the next morning with it out. It was trying to get me. All right, I think I want to go, because we have a white background that he's going to sit on, I want to go a little bit more, not like dark, but we can definitely use some color. So let's go with the E50s. So we're going to start with 59. And I want his little face and tummy to be a little bit lighter. So the top of his head and his wings are going to be a little darker. And I want to kind of emphasize this, the way that his wings are drawn, where they kind of have that feathered texture. And I'm going to show you guys how I like to color the glasses with his little face. So we jumped from E59, we went to E57. And we'll bring in some E55. Okay. One second. There we go. Okay, so we're going with that E55. Sorry, one more time. That's going to now become our darkest shade in our light area. Okay, and I'm going to imagine his glasses, you can see, come further past his body. So I'm going to imagine in my mind where his little head and body stop. So I'm kind of drawing a line from his wing up to the edge of his hat. So now we have that little space on either side. Okay. That was still with that 55, and we're going to jump up to 53. Start pulling in the color from the edges and just a little bit around those glasses. And then E51. Bring that in a little bit more. Really start rounding that out too. We're going to fill in the rest of his little face. It's not covered by the glasses. And then we're going to go all the way to 50 right in the center. Okay. So you can see now how we kind of get that distorted look. And then the thing that takes it over the top for me is we're going to take BG10 and color in that whole circle. You can also do this with like a B 00, 000, quadruple 0. But that to me just gives that actual like glass effect. And when we're done, you know what we'll do, because I never remember to do it, we'll go in with Touch of Gloss too, and we'll make them shiny. And that'll be sweet. All right, I want to go with golden versus orange feet because of the color palette that we're working with. I think the gold kind of works better. So we're going YR27 and YR24. I think red will stand out better for our cap, just because between the red and the blue, this area where it's going to go, I just think with that white, the red is really going to like stand out. So let's grab, I still want to do a bit of contrast. So let's start with R59. And I'm going to leave a little bit of that curve highlight that we like right on the edge of the cap. We're going to do a nice shadow all the way around where the cat meets that top part. And we want to kind of fill in the edges on either side. So we start making kind of those triangles. We're going to jump from R59 to R29. Start pulling that darker color out. Carry that all the way up to the edge. towards the middle. Then we can grab our 27. And you can fill this in or leave room for one more little highlight, which I'm going to just go for. Because there's not a ton of color in here, so I want to soak it all up. So we're going to go R24 as our highlight, which is a little on the orangey side, but it's still good. Right, we're getting there. You can have a little red bead on his tassel too. Okay. A 3-pound Chihuahua named Piglet. That's funny, you guys. I'm going to use those same reds. I know, just put them away, but we're not going to need all of them. But we're going to kind of sandwich. So we'll take a little bit of our R89 on this bottom book, 29. And R27 right through the middle. We'll just leave the markings white. So for our navy, let's go 30s. We'll go B39. And 37. And I'm going to jump. I'm going to B05. This 34 is just so gray. I got blue in that spot. So we'll just clean that up. Some little eye highlights on here, even though we're going to go in with the touch of gloss and it'll probably get crazy. And some highlight marks too. Hey, Miss Judy B. Trying to figure out, I can hear an echo, but I don't want to mess anything up if you guys aren't hearing it. You guys let me know. You're not. Okay. Now I changed something, so you guys let me know if it's better or the same. Because you're saying no echo. Whatever I did probably just made it now have an echo. Give it a minute, I'm sure. All right, so let's go ahead and die cut this guy out. It's from me switching up how I hooked up my headphones. Like it's always got to be something. Michelle, I'm so sorry to hear about your dog. It's so tough. Get our little die lined up. And these have coordinating sentiment dies, so we're probably going to end up doing that in barbershop since I didn't have blue cardstock. Go. So he's going to go right in the middle like that. So now we need a sentiment. Right, Melissa? Aren't they so cute? You did it. Way to go. I think way to go. That's cute. Way to go. And I have, no, that's the wrong paper. Mm-hmm. Should have been more careful when I was stamping. Yeah. We know where we can find more ice cream. Just need a little notch. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, the overall, in general, like, it's not a simple card. I know that, especially in the scheme of like the card making world, right? But in like technically speaking, for me to only have like the one image, that all feels very simple. But it's because we spent all of that time investing on that background, not covering it up, right? We just did all that hard work. We're going to let that shine. But I also think that that kind of thing makes this perfect for anybody, right? This could be a masculine or a feminine card. It could be for any student. All right, I do still want that navy. We're gonna go barbershop. One and done on that. We'll get that die cut and add it on, and we're good to go. I'm not gonna, it would probably help if I took the sentiment out. I'm not gonna add sparkles to this one. Obviously, you could if you wanted to. If you really wanted to go crazy, like we already said, you could make this a shaker, the whole thing a shaker card. Maybe in June we'll make this a shaker card. Like make this die a shaker card. I am going to pop these guys up so that we have some dimension since we're not going to add glitter, shimmer, shine, you know, whatever. I have my foam tape right here. Oh, I'm so glad, Michelle. Thank you for the inspiration. That's how I feel like I get my inspiration, is like from hearing other people ask questions or not know how they want to do something, um, like saying what the something that they have an issue with, like what a pain point is for them. That inspires me to start playing around and seeing how I can use things differently. Because I think a lot of times it can be easy to see something only used one way by the company or like by other people and think that that's then the only option that you have. But all of this stuff is meant to be used however you want to use it. Look at that. Way to go. Oh my gosh. And then, the last touch we need real quick before we wrap up is our touch-up gloss. I'm not just squeezing at all. Let's see. The pokey end. Just going to run that to the edges. It's going to look cloudy for us for the time being, but it's going to dry completely clear. I just think that's so cute. So you can kind of see how that's going to look, right, with that shine once it clears up. But yeah, such a fun little card using our Slimline die on an A2 card. Obviously, you could swap out colors, patterns, anything, and make this for whatever style card. This background would be super universal. So yeah, I hope that. Oh, sorry, Miss Judy. Let me show you. It is our Sunburst Slimline die. So it looks like this. But we wanted to see how we could use it for an A2. So we repeated it. You could also put it in the middle and let there be a mat on either side that way. So keep that in mind. Always feel free to leave me questions and requests in the comments because just like Miss Michelle, you could have your question answered live for everybody to learn from. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. I will be back here on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for sure on YouTube. Fingers crossed that Michelle gets the Facebook issues situated. But either way, we'll be here. Tell your friends. And yeah, any requests for products, topics, colors, leave them in the comments. I'll check tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day tomorrow. I'll see you back here on Thursday. And until next time, happy crafting, guys. Have a good night.